Well, the investigation launched by Red Bull to look into the misconduct allegations of Christian Horner has concluded, and the team have confirmed that their principal has been cleared of all charges, with him keeping his spot at the helm of the F1 operations for the immediate future. However, there are still many questions left unanswered, including what's going to happen with Horner now, and will this in any way leave a mark on his reputation in the sport. Following a lengthy probe into the allegations made against him by a female employee, Red Bull has found no evidence of inappropriate behaviour. As Horner travelled to Bahrain for the F1 season opener, Red Bull issued an official statement explaining that claims of wrongdoing against him had been dismissed. A statement issued by the Red Bull company in Austria said, "The independent investigation into the allegations made against Mr. Horner is complete, and Red Bull can confirm that the grievance has been dismissed. The complainant has a right of appeal." Red Bull enlisted an independent barrister to oversee an inquiry into the accusations against Horner, and the investigation involved extensive interviews with key individuals and across multiple weeks. Despite media speculation on the allegations, Red Bull didn't specify anything in particular, but nonetheless it stated that they have full confidence in the fairness, thoroughness and neutrality of the investigation process. The interesting thing about the Red Bull announcement is how they didn't put any significant details regarding the topic, particularly given recent pressure from Ford, as there seems to be a concentrated effort to ensure a transparent resolution to the investigation. Even Verstappen, when asked about this topic, seemed unaffected, stating how he only focuses on the race this weekend. But Horner was very front and centred. He was at the reveal of the car and in Bahrain for the test, but he did look quite awkward. It definitely seemed like there was pressure on him behind the scenes, but he was still there, front and centre of their operation, which you wouldn't expect Red Bull to do if you knew they were going to get rid of him. And if it was really as severe as the rumours said it was, then you might have expected him to be suspended. The F1 photographer Kim Illman said that Christian Horner and Helmut Marko will arrive together in Bahrain, which is a very interesting thing of itself, knowing the rumour that these two are primarily at play in this power struggle behind the scenes at Red Bull. This investigation and these allegations related to the rumours since Dietrich Mateschitz passing about some big power struggles behind the scenes in terms of who takes control of the organisation going forward. And it was the Verstappens, both Max and his father Jos, together with Helmut Marko against Horner himself. And while we still don't know the full story behind that, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it is true. And therefore the feeling that the Austrian part of Red Bull wanted Horner gone, they were trying to find ways to make that happen. Of course, then this allegation comes along, and maybe it really was the perfect opportunity to get rid of Horner, which now of course did not succeed. There does also remain a lot of intrigue about what role the various elements of the Red Bull global operation did and didn't play in this matter, from the Thai majority owners, the Austrian parent company, Helmut Marko and the Verstappens. Were there internal disagreements about the direction things should take? However, it is well known in politics that enemies often reveal their hands when the leader looks weak, but they can find their positions incredibly compromised when events turn around and there's no change at the top. Will we ever find out what happened though? Even with this announcement that we are seeing today, I don't think this is the end of the story by any means. Maybe it's the end of the story in terms of the allegations, but not for things happening behind the scenes at Red Bull, because I'm almost certain there is some truth to that in some way or another. Given the severity of the matter and the nature of the claim, the details of which have not been publicly disclosed, it was clearly taken seriously by the company, and that's shown by the fact it was Red Bull GmbH that intervened and ordered an external investigation and the duration of the process. Max Verstappen said he was trusting the process in a press conference earlier on Wednesday, and the lack of details means we must accept that as well. We can expect Horner to address the media on Thursday, marking his return to the paddock since the outcome was announced, and with this now over and done, he may speak more openly. However, considering Red Bull's emphasis on confidentiality, he's also quite likely to withhold specific details. What's probably going to happen is that he'll reaffirm his position as team principal, stating that operations will proceed as usual. Nonetheless, given the rampant speculation and leaks to Dutch media, Horner may take a proactive approach to identify their source and determine if any action is warranted. It seems unlikely that Red Bull Racing will be impacted by this, given Horner being cleared is the opposite of the potentially enormous destabiliser that him being removed from the position could have been, because Red Bull has clearly gone about its business like normal in recent months, while Horner has faced this personal situation and produced what looks to be a fantastic racing car. Its team was well organised and executed a flawless pre-season test, so trackside there's zero indication of any short-term negative impact on Red Bull. Looking ahead though, there is this power struggle question between Horner and other factions within Red Bull Racing and the broader Red Bull organisation. It's imperative to analyse the recent claim and investigation separately due to their gravity, yet it's plausible that underlying tensions persist at the same time. Within Formula One circles, there's a notion that Red Bull's Austrian headquarters may be apprehensive about Horner's extensive authority, considering his leadership of Red Bull Racing and its various affiliated businesses, such as the newly established powertrains facility in Milton Keynes, of which Horner is also the CEO. As the post-Mateschitz era unfolds, there appears to be a growing desire for increased oversight and influence over its F1 teams. This is evident in Red Bull's intervention in the presentation and management of its secondary team, now rebranded as RB. When compared with potential apprehensions regarding Horner's sway, it might be perceived as advantageous for Red Bull to reclaim control over a significant entity operating under its banner, but existing somewhat autonomously for the past few decades, and it remains intriguing to determine whether Horner observes any internal threats, particularly given the instances of information leaks during the ongoing process. The other key aspect to consider is Horner's position within the Red Bull F1 team moving forward. Although the recent situation posed challenges for him, the mere contemplation of a future without him within the organisation prompted reflection on his true impact. It's difficult to imagine anyone else currently leading the team, and while developments such as Ford's letter urging Red Bull to address the situation promptly might suggest dissatisfaction, Horner shared the desire for a swift resolution to the investigation. Behind closed doors, Horner received widespread support from team partners and employees, evident in a recent show of solidarity during a factory briefing. As Horner emphasised at the RB20 launch, "We're very united. We've always had tremendous support from the shareholders since Dietrich's passing. The shareholders have been incredibly supportive, and you can see the level of investment that there is with powertrains with the future of Formula One." One thing remains clear with Horner's competitive mindset. Despite the challenges, he will ensure that neither he nor the team loses focus on the task at hand. This situation will not open the door for rivals seeking to exploit any weaknesses. With this in mind, Red Bull heads into the Bahrain GP with clear heads. Despite expectations that the outcome would differ due to Horner's absence from the F1 team principal's press conference before the season opener, the situation unfolded differently. All questions will be answered according to Red Bull's performance on the track. If they maintain the dominant pace they've displayed since 2022, it's likely this issue will be brushed aside. However, Horner's experience in F1 has taught him not to forgive those who have wronged him or wished him ill, and this may prompt him to take strict actions in response. What do you think? How will Christian Horner's future in F1 shape up now that this is all over? Let us know down in the comments, and we'll see you again very soon.